All right, Dad, you need a sedan. You need it to be quick and you need it to be under the radar. Meet the 2025 Cadillac CT5-V. V is for victory, because you've made it. Yes! Oh yeah. That's some good sounds right there. Welcome to the channel. I'm Bradley Hasemeyer. This is all about making your parenting life, your dad life easier. You're getting the sedan that's a little bit understated, that people maybe don't really give a second look at. It's not an M3, but you're still getting a twin turbo 3.0 liter V6 worthy of 360 horsepower. You're getting a giant tech screen on the inside with all kinds of fun little things you can do with it. You've got room for your kids in the back, room for your coffee in the middle, and room for your ego because the exhaust sounds great. Oh yeah. That's just so sweet. Just what a wonderful sound that is. Exterior styling has just a little bit more edge than a regular CT5. The angles are really nice, especially back here in the hips. You can see some nice angles with the tail lights, to the hood, with the spoiler. These wheels are amazing. I love this black and silver design. The blue calipers, gonna pay extra for that. See, the seats are perforated. They have cross stitching. Nice little V emblem on the back here. There's a booster on the side for your thigh support. We all need a little more support. These are massaging. New for 2025, they're just throwing in some massaging seats. That's fantastic. Have you ever gone 100 miles an hour while having your back massaged? Now you can. I can change my drive modes from the center console, my traction, the auto start stop. This has the parking feature, which basically you hit a button and the car parks itself. There's just enough sporty carbon fiber gloss cross-stitching style to not upset the non-sport enthusiast driver. Down here you've got cup holder spots, which hold regular cups, can't do anything big. Wireless charger here, little tiny tray under there. This controls your radio, audio. This is a little bit redundant. This controls the screen, but you could also just touch right there, so I don't know why that's necessary, but it's there. All your quick home hard buttons here. All of that's there. Center console's okay. It's okay space, not crazy, but not bad. This is really handy here. Spot for your phone. You can also fit your wallet in there. There's plenty of room for a car seat. Easy for a teen to sit there, which is really nice. But when it comes to me being here, that's my head hitting the ceiling. So it's a little bit tight. I'm 6'1", but sitting behind myself, I've got some knee room, so I could slide down, and there's some cutaways here, so I could slide down a little bit and sit, but still, that's not super comfortable. That's a bummer. Let's go. All right, so I guess if I'm rolling like this, I should talk a little bit about it. Welcome to the interior of the 2025 Cadillac CT5-V series. V is for victory. This car is a win. I feel like this is kind of like a Goldilocks of cars. If it were a wagon, it would be totally perfect. I used to love the CT5-V wagon. I actually did a road trip from LA to San Francisco in one time. It was fantastic. You know, there's not as much utility in a sedan as there is in a wagon, but other than that, there's a pretty sweet setup here. It also has Super Cruise, which is an unbelievably fantastic autonomous driving feature, and I think it's the best one. GM has my vote for best autonomous drive. Basically, it won't work on all roads. Teslas will work on a lot of different roads, but it's going to work on the roads that it knows is safe and they've got a clear map of. So mostly that's freeways and interstates. But I had a similar car to this from San Francisco to go to Car Week 2 years ago at Pebble, and basically it drove itself from, once I got on the freeway, I was in terrible traffic, And it was so nice just to have my hands off the steering wheel, my feet off the steering, or my feet on the steering, my feet off the accelerator and the brake, and it just really took care of itself. So that was something that I was like really impressed with. So I love that. I love the giant screen on the inside, 33 inches, a singular piece. It really looks like it's just one screen, even though obviously this is more the digital dash cluster and this is your infotainment over here. It's beautiful. It takes up more than half of the front of the dash, but again, it's not something that feels like braggadocious. It doesn't feel like you got the, you know, the 80-inch plasma. No one buys a plasma TV anymore, but you know what I mean, the 80-inch TV on the screen. The seats are comfortable, nice side bolsters to them, nice detail. They're heated, ventilated. I've got heated steering wheel. Turn off the AC so we get a good little engine exhaust note. Go V mode, you see that just V just popped up because I hit this. Now it's showing me all my different mode options up here. Clear that out because I'm not interested. And let's go. That's pretty great. You hear the little poof at the end? Yeah. Suspension gets stiffer, of course. Brake feel is more track ready. That's one of the adjustments that I made to it. Steering is tighter, all of it, you know. It's V. It's V. This is the pinnacle, the ultimate, you know what I mean? That's what we're doing here. All right, I can switch it into manual mode by just pulling back on the shifter here. And now I see I've got M1. Got my paddle shifters here on the steering wheel. I'm gonna make this pull in front of this big ram. Yep. There we go. Good sound there. Oh yeah. That's just so sweet. Just what a wonderful sound that is. Also impressive how it still retains the Cadillac-ness. You know, if I switch it back over here to touring, everything calms down a little bit. It's a little bit quieter. I can still access that engine note if I want, just by pushing it a little bit, but otherwise, it's a whole lot more tame. Man, the all-wheel drive in this. The CT5 series, if you will, is kind of a weird element in the whole landscape of cars because it's a little bit bigger than, say, like a 3 Series BMW. Not quite the same vibe and size as the 5 Series, but it is luxury. But, so a lot of people don't really think about, I think, Cadillac as the sedan that they should buy in that situation. But if you're looking for, you know, a sport sedan. But when you throw in the V Series element, this is a clear winner. This is an easy pick. This is an easy thumbs up. Dads who are enthusiasts, who want to drive a car that's a little bit under the radar, that you don't see a ton of. It's not ostentatious, it's not in your face, but you have great exhaust note. You have a 3.0 liter twin turbo V6 producing 360 horsepower. You have magnetic ride suspension all around, which is pretty impressive. Basically, magnetic ride suspension uses a liquid in the suspension tubes that can charge, which changes the viscosity. Basically, it makes it thicker or thinner depending on what it needs. And Cadillac has had this for years, so they've really dialed it into such a completely perfect, you know, it's better than air ride because it can adapt and adjust in a more nuanced manner. At least that's my take on it. So you can switch through your drive modes, and I'm impressed by the amount of customization your drive modes have. Normally it's something simple like the steering, throttle response, engine note. Sometimes you don't even get engine note, but you also have brake feel. That's one of the elements you can adjust as well. Let's see, what else we got? We got suspension, steering, brake, engine sound, throttle response. So all of that. And you can scroll through your different drive modes down here in the middle. But if you want to ball out. You switch into V mode on the steering. And something about the way this drives, it almost feels like it needs more horsepower. I know that sounds crazy. 360 is a lot of horsepower, but maybe it's because it's not as dramatic as some of those other sport cars. I wouldn't even call them sports cars, but like, you know, the higher end version of the 5 Series, or you know, an what is it now, E400, something like that. There is something about it that I just feel like it's trying to get over the hump, and it's not quite there. But that's also because the car is still a Cadillac at heart. It's so you're not throwing it off kilter. It's very calm, it's very relaxed, it's very confident, and that has a lot to do with those magnetic dampers that I was talking about before. Also, the glass, double insulated. You can actually feel there are 2 pieces of window here. So the car is still holding on to those heritage Cadillac elements of quiet and smooth, very comfortable. In V, you do definitely feel a difference in the steering. The engine note, of course, is great. And something that's kind of like an intangible in a vehicle like this is your ability to really enjoy this car thoroughly. I've definitely driven cars with much bigger horsepower. I've driven cars with not as much horsepower, but more of like a rip-roaring fun type of element. That's great. And that was 60. It sounds like 80. And that's what I'm kind of saying is like this interesting dynamic. I actually prefer that because I like the sound of an engine note, and I'd rather not get speeding tickets all the time. Last car I test drove was the McLaren Artura Spider, and that car was absolute nuts because it's a carbon fiber body, and you know, the power to weight ratio is intense, and you're just like, you're like flying all over the place in the car. And maybe because I don't have that, but I still have such a great exhaust sound. They've really tuned that exhaust to sound so good. And so that's one of the things that's this interesting conundrum about this car. If you want the M3 that's a little bit flashy, a little bit louder. I had an M3 competition a couple weeks ago, and I loved that car. I was really impressed by how comfortable that was, but as a sports car. But the daily driver element is so high on this that this is like kind of the perfect dad car. Good job, Cadillac. Bravo. So what do you guys think? Is this CT5-V dad worthy? Does it live up to dad life? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot more videos coming. And make sure you're following me on social, Instagram, BHaz, TikTok, @Hazemeyer. And I'll see you on the next one. I gotta go pick up some kids. Let's go.